A Tale of Two Dictionaries and a Chicken by Elitist Scum. The one and only chapter. As Celestia's sun slowly peeked its head above the corners of the earth, the rays stretching out to grasp a hold of the sheets and fling them away so the day might start, the creatures beneath its golden light rose as well. Cats meowed at their owner's door, begging to be fed, whilst dogs continued to sleep until the cacophony of kibble being put into their dish rang throughout the house. Earth ponies rose early to begin the day's work, while the Pegasi rubbed sleep from their eyes as they pushed clouds to and fro, preparing the day's sunny weather. Shopkeepers flipped closed signs to open, and store owners swept the floors of their businesses. For all purposes, today was going to be the perfect day, and every being knew it. One being in particular had looked forward for today for a long time. Her name was Scootaloo, and she was flapping her wings excitedly. She hopped down from her perch in a tree. Her orange coat glistened in the early morning sun, managing to slow her descent with her wings, much to her delight. Today was the day that her and her friends Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom would get their cutie marks. She was sure of it. Making her way towards her scooter, Scootaloo hopped on. Revving her wings up, they reached full speed, but she stayed in the exact same place. Hopping off the blue and white scooter, she quickly checked the wheels. The forward right wheel was rusted over. Hanging her head in disappointment, she nudged it back into place and began walking towards Ponyville. Garnering a few strange looks from ponies for reasons that were lost on her, Scootaloo continued on her way towards the Ponyville Library, the designated meeting place for her and her friends. They always met there. Maybe it was the books that helped them think, or perhaps it was the quietness of the place. They'd been banned by the librarian, Twilight Sparkle once, but she'd let them back in finally, and they'd met there consistently ever since. Finally reaching the enormous hollowed-out tree that was the Ponyville Library, Scootaloo knocked on the door. After waiting for a few minutes with no response, she knocked again, and again, and again. Finally, she heard the gentle patter of footsteps that heralded the arrival of the assistant librarian, a nice dragon by the name of Spike.
"Hello, any pony here?"
he said as he opened up the door.
"Oh, it's just you." "Spike, who's at the door?"
the Twilight said, her voice wafting out of the library.
"Just that one chicken that likes clacking to those two dictionaries you accidentally enchanted with a come-to-life spell,"
he replied.
"Bark!"
Scootaloo huffed in indignation. They were not just two dictionaries. They were Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle, the best friends in the whole world.
"Fine, let it in. I'll go tell Fluttershy to come pick it up. Again,"
Twilight said.
"Bark!"
Scootaloo squeaked in delight, rushing past the purple and green dragon. Running to the center of the library, Scootaloo spied the two books she was looking for. There, on the ground, propped up against the bookshelf, were Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom.
"Page flip,"
said Apple Bloom.
"Page flip, cover close,"
said Sweetie Belle.
"Bark!"
Scootaloo said, obviously Chickenese for,
"Hello, my two wonderful friends. What shall we do today?"
"Page flip,"
Apple Bloom said, which was bookish for,
"We should do something with the best of intentions, but end up creating an absolutely horrible mess that requires us to act in stereotypical comedic fashion to correct the problem, and then we learn a lesson at the end."
"Page flip,"
Sweetie Belle shrugged, which meant,
"Nah, let's just light something on fire by accident." "Bark!"
Scootaloo pondered, which meant,
Both of your ideas have merit, but the real question is, what will get us our cutie marks?
Just then, the door opened and Twilight walked in, the handle of a red wagon held in her magical grip, the wagon following behind her, a small potted tree resting in said wagon.
"Spike, I'm back! I got Fluttershy!" "Okay,"
said Spike.
"The chicken is still talking to those two dictionaries." "Okay, Fluttershy, just go grab your chicken while I go get some tea,"
Twilight said, releasing her hold on the wagon. The tree sat there. And it sat there. And it sat there. Finally, Twilight returned from the kitchen, a steaming teapot floating beside her.
Fluttershy, aren't you going to pick up your chicken?
The tree sat in silence.
Oh, sorry, Twilight. There was a baby mouse hurt outside your library, so I just had to stop and help him.
A meek butterscotch Pegasus blushed.
And thank you for carrying that new tree for me. Just make sure you give it to Mayamare tomorrow.
Fluttershy smiled as she flew inside the library.
And also thank you for making sure Scootaloo didn't hurt herself. Come on, Scootaloo, we have to go now.
Bark!
Scootaloo clucked sadly, which meant,
Sorry, girls, I gotta go. I'll see you tomorrow.
Page flop,
they both said, which meant,
Bye, Scootaloo.
After Fluttershy and Scootaloo left, Twilight turned on the radio. And this is just in, the announcer exclaimed. Presidential candidate Lyra Supreme has announced that if she is elected president, there will be humans for every pony. I will now quote the announcement candidate Supreme made at the National Dessert Competition in Canterlot this past weekend. Equestria needs to be ready for zombies. Our current Prince-President continues to ignore the threats that zombies pose to Equestria. This is why we need to institute a human identification program by giving every pony a human. When this system is implemented, it will change absolutely nothing. As Prince-President, I promise to... The radio drawled on.
Page flip?
Sweetie asked, which meant,
Can you believe that? That's ridiculous.
page flop flop.
Applebloom said, which meant,
Oh no, it'd be like if someone wrote a story about two dictionaries talking. I mean, really, how unoriginal can you get? If anyone were to write that, they'd have to be a complete idiot.
Author's note. And don't forget to favorite this.
We here at Pony&Wolf Productions thank these amazing patrons of ours for their monthly support, without which all of this would not be possible. We sincerely appreciate it, and every dollar helps, is needed, and will be used to keep us going to produce audiobooks for your continued enjoyment. It is, now more than ever, important that you support your favorite creators if possible, due to YouTube changing in a way that is not very friendly to content creators. Especially small content creators, like us. In recent months, the names you see on screen have enabled Midnight and Visual Pony to keep going and only having to sell off part of their belongings to not end up on the street. As an incentive for everyone, Visual Pony has broken a vow and has promised to read and record Fallout Equestria, Murky number 7, should the monthly support reach $1,500. To be clear, this is the absolute minimum amount needed to keep the apartment and all bills paid without starving, while a production of this size is ongoing. The estimated time for this production would be 3 to 4 years, but people already said that Project Horizons was impossible to do, right? And now look who did it, so with Pony&Wolf, you know we can finish the job. For further information on how to support us, please have a look at the description of this video, as there are also other ways, like our merch store. Sincerely and forever yours, your Pony&Wolf team.